All right, so we're here talking about independent and dependent variables in an experiment. So it's really important for scientists to determine the variables in their experiment and make sure that they are only looking at one independent and one dependent variable. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard to actually figure out if there's a relationship in their experiment. So here we have the example. Susie Q wants to know how different amounts of fertilizer affect the growth of plants. And we need to find the independent and dependent variables. So let's talk about the independent. Sometimes that's called the manipulated variable. That's the one that we change. So that's why it's called manipulated, because when you manipulate something, you change it. So the one that we change is the independent variable. So let's think about this. Susie wants to know how different amounts of fertilizer affect the growth of plants. So we're looking at different amounts of fertilizer in the growth of plants. Well, Susie can't change how the plants grow. What Susie can change is the amount of fertilizer. So the independent variable here is the amount of fertilizer, because that's what Susie can change. Now, the dependent variable is what changes in response to the independent variable. So it's sometimes called the responding variable. So it responds, or it depends on the independent variable. I'm going to write IV there for independent variable. So the dependent variable responds to the independent variable. So if Susie is changing the amount of fertilizer, what should respond to that is the growth of the plants. So independent variable, the one she changes the amount of fertilizer. And then dependent variable is the one that responds to that change. So in response to changing the fertilizer, the plants may change how much they grow. So her hypothesis, what she thinks is going to happen, is probably if I give the plants more fertilizer, they will grow more. So two variables, the one we change, the one that responds. It's really important that we only have one of each.